What's up, a CinemaShogun here, and guys, I really need your help getting this news story out there because it is not getting the attention that it needs. Law enforcement says that there is no homicide investigation. They're not even looking into the case from that direction, basically. They're saying there's no foul play involved. But if you ask me, it's very obvious that there's something sinister to this story. Let's just call it that. It's obvious that there's something off here, something kind of wicked, if you ask me. Now, the story I am talking about is the story of these three Chiefs fans. They were all gathering together, this group of friends, to go watch the Kansas City Chiefs game. Now, I was under the impression that this was their recent playoff game, but no, it was actually the last regular season game when they played the Chargers. So this situation is even worse than I thought because it has took the families of these three victims this long to get this news story out there. And it's still not gaining much traction. But they've been trying to get eyes on the story because it's obvious that there's something weird here. These three friends go to another friend's house to watch the Chiefs game. They're never heard from again. The friend whose house they were at, he doesn't answer the phone, refuses to answer the door. A fiance of one of the individuals had to break into the home. She found someone dead on the porch, found the other two friends were found dead by law enforcement in the backyard. So we got three friends found dead in their friend's backyard. No foul play suspected, no homicide investigation, but we know for a fact that the homeowner, the fourth friend, he was refusing to answer back calls. He was reading their text messages, wouldn't text them back. The woman is banging and banging on the door. He refuses to answer the door. He was home. The woman had to break into the house to find these dead bodies. Now, they say the guy is cooperating with police, but my question is, how are there three frozen friends in the backyard and you're pretending like, oh, they froze to death? I don't know. You knew enough not to answer the door. You knew enough not to answer back the text messages or the phone calls. There's a body literally on your back porch. So this guy had to know that these people were dead in his backyard. And he said nothing. He allowed them to be missing for 3 or 4 days. And finally, their family, or the fiance, showed up. Police got involved. The guy has not been arrested. And the family has not been given many answers. And it's a really frustrating situation, because you just know that these three individuals didn't just randomly freeze to death in their friend's backyard. Why couldn't they just walk inside? There's something really weird here, but we're waiting on the autopsy report. We're waiting on several different reports to find out what really happened, but I would assume there's no visible signs of injuries or anything like that. So whatever happened to him, I don't know if it's alcohol, I don't know if it's drugs, I don't know what, but there's something really off about this situation. And it seems as if there's not enough effort being put forth to solving this case. You know, I don't understand why there isn't an investigation or why they aren't exploring the homicide aspect. I don't care how cooperative the homeowner is with police. The homeowner was not cooperative with the families of these three individuals who were trying to get in touch with their loved ones for days as they were lying dead in this guy's backyard. But before I go any further, I want to roll this news clip. But before I do that, I need a huge favor from all of you all. It's free. It only takes 1 second. I need you to hit the like button. I need you to subscribe. And I need you to share this video. Share this video with fellow football fans. I've reached out to the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't expect to hear back from them at all. But I've reached out wondering if they could put a signal boost on this story so we can have more eyes looking at this, because this needs to get solved. These three families don't need to be wondering what happened to their loved ones. And it looks like this is a case that they're trying to just sweep under the rug and move on. But let's roll this clip and then I'll be right back with more thoughts.
Mysterious case of 3 men found dead outside of a Kansas City home following a Chiefs game. It's getting more and more attention and begging more questions about what happened.
Yeah, the person who owns that house says that his buddies just froze to death. Friends and family say the timeline is just one of the many details not adding up here. Kelsey Kernstein joins us to help break it all down. Kelsey, what's the latest today?
Adrian and Markey, good morning. So right now we are, of course, waiting for that autopsy and toxicology results. Those, of course, could take weeks. Now, the key issues that people want clarity on: why did these three men allegedly freeze to death? Why was the homeowner allegedly ignoring people banging on his door? And what evidence did police have to almost immediately rule out a homicide investigation? Now, here's what we know. On Sunday, January 7th, the four friends were at a home outside of Kansas City to watch the Chiefs game. Now, the game kicked off at 3:25 Central Time and ended almost exactly 3 hours later, according to a post on the team's social media. For the next 50 hours or so, loved ones heard nothing. A friend telling News Nation exclusively that, quote, early in the day on Tuesday, January 9th, the homeowner had seen messages from concerned relatives and was aware that at least two of the men had not made it home. Now, according to police, that night, one of the missing men's fiancé showed up at the house. She banged on the door, but no one answered. So she broke in through the basement and found one of the men dead on the back porch. She then called police, who found two other men dead in the backyard. Now, the next morning, police then issued a statement saying they found no obvious signs of foul play, adding that a search warrant wasn't required due to the homeowner's cooperation. Now, 3 days later, on Friday, January 12th, the victims were identified as 37-year-old David Harrington, 36-year-old Clayton McGinney, and 38-year-old Ricky Johnson. Harrington's mother told News Nation exclusively that, quote, nobody believes this story. Here's Mal Jackson, a reporter at News Nation's Kansas City station, on his conversations with his sources.
It is sort of interesting because all of the times, police departments are evasive for different reasons. But in this case, and in conversations with sources and, on the record and off the record conversations, I think the police department is as bewildered by this case as I think America is starting to become.
Our News Nation station, WDAF, reports that neighbors even saw a U-Haul truck in the driveway of his home, but we do not know why. But again, the homeowner has not been charged, and he is cooperating with police. Now, there is no timeline for the toxicology reports, but according to the DOJ, the average turnaround is more than 30 days.
So naturally, I know a lot of people are going to think, well, were they drunk in the backyard? And, my thing is, I don't know. I'm not a heavy drinker. I get drunk from time to time. I've never been so drunk that I would freeze to death in a backyard. I would just go inside. Also, you have to think about, why is the homeowner? The homeowner, the fourth friend, he's A-okay. He didn't freeze to death. So if there was substances or alcohol involved, if that's the cause of these deaths, then I guess what? The homeowner was just sober? The homeowner wasn't affected at all? And my thing is, you got three individuals, not just one, but three. I don't think you all three simultaneously freeze to death. Maybe you see, hey, my friend just froze to death. Maybe I should go inside. I'm so confused about this story in multiple ways. One of the main reasons I'm confused is to why there isn't... it's hard for me to even explain because my mind is kind of blown that the homeowner is kind of just they've kind of let the dude off the hook. They're like, oh, he's cooperative. We didn't need a warrant to search the house. There's no homicide investigation. We don't suspect any foul play. And it's at the end of the day, even if these people froze to death in your backyard, it really seems as if you had the knowledge that they did freeze to death in your backyard and you didn't say anything about it. I don't get that. Was this a big accident? All of y'all were drinking in the backyard and everyone passed out and you went inside and went to bed and you woke up and your friends are out there dead? Were substances passed around and you chose not to partake, but they did, and then they died in your backyard? Or they died in your house? I don't know. I'm also questioning the placement. We don't know the placement of the bodies. I know one was found on the back porch, the other two in the backyard. I think that would be a big deal as well. Where were these bodies at? You know what I mean? Because if they're passed out and they freeze to death on a lawn chair, okay, all right. But I don't believe that they would all pass out and freeze to death in different locations. And if you're moving around freezing to death, it's not like they're in the middle of anywhere or the middle of nowhere. They could go in the friend's house. They could go to a neighbor's house. I would assume they maybe even had cell phones. It's 2024. Hell, you're cold outside, get picked up. Who drove them to this location? There's details about this case that we still don't know. And that's what's frustrating, is because often in cases like this, you'll have your press conferences. You know, you'll get little details from law enforcement, but I don't really know how these individuals arrived at the home. I don't know if their cars were still at the home. I don't know where their cell phones were found. I don't know exactly where their bodies were found. Those are all details that we need to know. Those are details that need to come out, because those details will paint a clearer picture. Right now, the only information that's really out there is that these individuals went to go hang out and watch football, and then 3 days later they were found. And the friend's like, oh yeah, they froze to death in my backyard. Yeah, my friends turned into fish sticks in the backyard, nothing to see here. Purposely not answering the door, purposely not answering the phone, purposely not returning text messages. So at the very least, is it not criminal in itself to have knowledge that there's dead people in your backyard and do nothing? And how shitty of a friend do you have to be to not call 911, to not talk to the families, nothing? It's a really all-around messed up situation. And it goes to show sometimes it's your friends. It's your own people, okay? It's your own people that you got to worry about sometimes. But I'm going to keep looking into this story. I'm going to dig. I'm going to find out more, and I'll let you know in a future video. For now, let me know your thoughts down below. If you're feeling generous and you want to donate to the channel, you can do so via Cash App. I'll have my Cash App in the pinned comment. You can also donate via Super Thanks. And you can help the channel for free by liking, subscribing, ringing the notification bell. But with that being said, I'll talk to you all very soon in the next video.